I am Rashawn McDonald, the host of Money Making Conversation Masterclass, where we encourage people to stop reading other people's success stories and start planning their own. Join us as we travel across the country, visiting small businesses and interviewing celebrities to see how they're running their companies and nonprofits who are making a difference in their local communities. Now sit back and watch as we unlock the secrets to their success. Hi, I'm Rashawn McDonald, and I host the weekly Money Making Conversation Masterclass show. The interviews and information that this show provides are for everyone. It's time to stop reading other people's success stories and start living your own. My next guest is Stephen A. Smith. In the last 5 years, Stephen A. Smith has become one of the most powerful media voices in sports commentary. He's also a popular actor on General Hospital. He's a social media influencer, podcast and YouTuber, influencer, television producer, the host and executive producer of the #1 sports morning show on TV, First Take, and a New York Times bestselling author. We have a lot to talk about, so please welcome to Money Making Conversation Masterclass show, Stephen A. Smith. How you doing, my brother?
What's going on, man? How are you? How's everything, man? Excuse me for these big ass headphones that I have on. They ain't mine. You know, they're heavy, but you know, at least it's the only way I can hear you. It's the only way I can hear you. I appreciate them having these headphones for me. What's up?
Well, I appreciate you taking the time, because I know West Coast, East Coast, where you at?
I'm in LA right now, just taking care of some business out here. I had to film some scenes for General Hospital. And plus I've got some individual business ventures I've been working on as well. So
Right. So we share Emmy Award winning General Hospital, huh?
yeah, they won about 7 Emmys. I mean, I didn't win one individually. I mean, I'm not on that level. I just make guest appearances. My character's name is Brick. I'm a surveillance expert for the mob, but I come in and out. I'm not a regular everyday cast member, so because of that, I wasn't able to apply for any of those categories to win an Emmy. But who knows? One day I might. Who knows? Never know.
Okay, Stephen A. Sports.
Right.
You're a regular, recurring actor on General Hospital. How did you become a General Hospital fan?
Well, I've been a General Hospital fan since I was a kid. Growing up with 4 older sisters, and my late brother, and we'd come home from school, and we only had 2 TVs in the house, and if you wanted to watch TV, it was on General Hospital. It was either that or do your homework, and none of us wanted to do homework after we had just spent 7, 8 hours in school. So because of that, we were like, hell with that. We'll watch General Hospital, and I've been watching General Hospital since I was like 7, 8 years old, and I've never stopped since.
Wow. So that's kind of like can we say a childhood dream come true to be a
Yeah, I think so.
regular?
I think so because I mean I love the soap. I've grown to love it throughout the years. One of my pet peeves whenever I'm working is if somebody bothers me between 3 and 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, they better have a damn good reason for interrupting me because they know I'm watching General Hospital. So if they're bothering me, it's going to be a problem. So in that regard, to grow up watching it and some of these characters, like the star of the show has been on the show for nearly 30 years. And to go from watching him and being a fan of his to literally working with him, it's just an extreme honor that I really, really can't put into words. It really is fascinating for me to jump in there. And then not only that, it's helped me develop the acting bug because I
Right.
didn't ask for it. I just wanted to make an appearance. And executive producer Frank Valentini, who won obviously an Emmy, and then you've got Maurice Bernard, the star of the show, instantly said, "Do you have time to do this? We want to make this a recurring role for you." After I made one appearance for them, and I've been on the show now for 7 years, and
Wow.
they believe I can act, and they believe that I should dedicate more time to acting. The one thing that I will acknowledge and will admit that I've become very, very fascinated about with acting, it, but to actually perform the craft and do it, it really, really hits home for you. I love the fact that you're allowed to be whatever the character allows. It's
Right.
like we say that and we know that's the case looking at what they do when they're working, but to actually be on the job, having to perform and to be somebody else at a particular moment in time, it's hard to put into words the feeling that you get when you pull that off. To pull it off like that is something special.
Now, some people would say that on First Take, you playing a character. Is Stephen A. Smith on First Take Stephen A. Smith, or a commentary version of who you really are.
No, it's me. It's me. When I'm on General Hospital, I'm acting. I'm really
Right.
acting. When I'm on First Take, all I'm doing is showing different facets of my personality.
Right.
Like, I know sports, and on First Take, you want to be informed. You want to articulate your positions. You want to show the range that you have in terms of being serious 1 minute, comical the next, et cetera, et cetera. That's me. That's who I am according to my sisters. That's who I am according to my 15 nieces and nephews. It's who I was to my wonderful mother who passed away in 2017, God rest her soul, and my father who passed away in 2018. I mean, those are the things that they know, they've always known about me. The facets of my personality, the multitude of personalities that I have is what people see on First Take.
Here's something interesting, Stephen A. Watching you on TV, there's a love, there's a passion that drives you, I'm
Okay.
sure. What do you think your biggest asset? Your voice, your intellect, or your passion?
I can't separate the three. Um, the aspiration, the desire to have a voice can't come from not knowing anything. You have to be informed. When you're informed, you have to have a passion and a desire to express yourself to the masses. And the only reason you should want to do that is because you want to have an impact and you want to make a difference. I'm executive producing and co-producing as a production company a docuseries called Up for Debate. That's going to be coming out probably around February or so. The people that I have working with me and for me, people like yourself, Rashawn McDonald, people like my guy, Michael Onifree, and various others. It matters, associating yourself with people who share your vision, your passion, your zest, and a willingness to be a voice, knowing that puts you in the lion's den. It puts you in the eye of the proverbial storm. It's going to make people come at you. You got to be the kind of person that stands up and says, okay, I'm here for it. When I was doing my show, the Stephen A. Smith Show, my podcast / show, I ended the show by paying tribute to Bryant Gumbel.
Right.
Bryant Gumbel is a pioneer. He's one of the greatest voices and one of the greatest reputable journalists we've ever seen in American history. And I felt it was compelled, considering the years of excellence that he had put forth, that I took time to recognize as a young Black man what he meant to me, what he's meant to our people, to our culture, by tackling the issues that he's tackled with the intellect, the knowledge, the substance, the passion that comes with it. I owed that to him. And, he reached back out to me and thanked me from the bottom of his heart for saying what I said. And I just said to him, what's the thank? I should be thanking you. We all should.
Right.
And that's what I hope somebody, a bunch of people are able to look at me when my day comes and they're able to say the same thing about me.
Wow. First Take. Let's go back to First Take.
Yeah.
Record numbers.
Yeah.
I've read in the media over 600,000. That's the average, highest average in the history.
Mm-hmm.
Pre-COVID numbers, history.
Yeah.
You brought two individuals onto your show. You're executive producer of First Take.
Yeah.
Mad Dog Russo. Why did you bring Mad Dog Russo on your show?
Because I wanted white America to know that I don't just care about what Black people say alone. I want to care about what everybody says, and I want to care about everybody's perspective. It's not just about Black. It's not just about white. It's not just about young. It's also about middle-aged and older folks. It's not just about males. It's about females too.
Mm-hmm.
I want to have the kind of show that everybody knows they're invited, that everybody knows that they're included. I remember when I had my show, quite frankly, on ESPN2 from 2005 to 2007. When I reflect on that show, which was on the air for 18 months, 327 shows, where I interviewed about 780 guests, what I reflect upon most was the fact that there were some people who felt left out.
Right.
That I wasn't including them in the show, that the show was with somebody else. That's not what you're in this business for. You know, my roots are rooted in journalism. Yes, I've evolved and I've become a personality and a pundit. I was a general sports columnist, so that gave me a license to opine and editorialize and give my opinions. And when you think like a journalist, you don't think for or towards a monolithic audience. You think about everyone. You might want one community to hear you more so than others because your message on a day-to-day basis, depending on the subject, may be aimed towards them. But the message is not just for them, it's for everybody. And so when I was, on First Take, the first order of business was to make sure that I showed all the multitude, the multiple facets of my personality. I could be rambunctious, petulant, comical. The list goes on and on. You just never know with me. And I definitely wanted to do that. But then when I became the executive producer, it was an obligation to make sure the show represented that, not just me.
Right.
And so that's what I've gone about the business of doing. Mad Dog Russo being added, Shannon Sharp being added, Ryan Clark, Marcus Spears already being there, Mina Kimes, Kimberly Martin. Of course, my partner in crime, Molly Karam, who does a sensational job. I have no desire to do the show without her. I love her to death, even though I would never tell her, don't air that. I don't want her to know how much love I have for her because her head is big enough. It'll just get bigger. And I'm not finished. I've got more parts and pieces that I intend to add, things that I want to do. And as long as I'm at ESPN and they give me the license to do it, I'll do the best that I can. I've been number one for over 12 years. Hopefully it'll be 13, 14, and beyond.
When we talk about success, why is Stephen A. Smith popular?
I don't know. I mean, I don't wake up thinking about popularity.
But you are popular.
Yes, I accept that. You got nearly 14 million followers on social media, and you got a YouTube channel that's nearly reached 450,000 subscribers in 9 months. I guess that equates to popularity in this day and age. Okay, so be it. But I aim for more. I'm just getting started. And I don't wake up thinking about my popularity. I wake up thinking about being successful, and how can I put my head down and put forth the work that's going to ensure my success. I think the thing that any employer, whether it be present or prospective or future employers or whatever the case may be, I think the one thing that people talk about how I work hard,
Yes.
they don't understand the discipline I exercise. You do because you've known me for over 20 years, but most people don't. They don't understand how little I think about um, the fruits of my labor, per se.
Yes.
You tell me, one of the popular statements you make to me all the time is, you have never seen, because you call me a superstar. I never felt that way. But you say you've never seen a superstar like me. You really, really think you're ordinary. I drive myself 95% of the times instead of using car service. I walk through airports, 95% of the times instead of flying private. It is nothing. You know this. It is nothing for people to just turn around one day and to see me standing in a White Castle or McDonald's. I'm not sending somebody in it for me. I usually do it myself. I mean, I don't care, unless it's my man Juvie or Sumatra. I mean, I'm usually doing that. It's like people are shocked at how ordinary and to use your words, regular, I conduct myself. And it's a very simple reason why I do that, because I don't think about all of that. I think about the work. I don't think about the success I intend to reap from it. I expect that. I expect to win. I expect to be one of the best at whatever I choose to do. I expect the rewards to be reaped at some point, but it's not what I spend a lot of time thinking about as it pertains to popularity and what that ultimately can reap. Because in the end, I believe when you're married to the work, it will speak for itself. And the phrase that I used to use is when Kevin Garnett got a $126 million contract, or Kobe Bryant got his money and stuff like that. I said, these brothers are filthy rich and they play like they're starving. I work like I'm starving. I work every day. And so when I think about people who want to go up against me, who think they could do what I can do and think they can enjoy the same level of success and all of that stuff, the number one reason I'm so confident is because I just find it hard to believe that most people are going to match my work ethic and my commitment to being great at what I do, no matter how much money I'm making or not making.
Cool. Stephen, 2018, you had a plan. You said, Rashawn, I'm putting together a dream team. And in 2018, you didn't have a TikTok account. In 2018, you didn't have a LinkedIn account.
Mm-hmm.
You were still debating your Instagram account. You had Facebook, and Twitter was your biggest account, which is X now.
Right.
What was the plan? If you can reveal to people what that plan was back then, because we see it being played out right now with your popularity, with your organic, with your show that you just said, 450,000 subscribers in 9 months.
Almost.
But in 2018, it started with your plan.
Well, I think the mistake that a lot of people make is they focus on the money, but not how you acquire it. I, working at ESPN on the number one show, in total fairness to them, I'm paid a pretty handsome salary. No question about it. But that was never going to be enough for me. And it never will be enough for me. Because I can honestly sit here and tell you that in my perfect world, if I could work for ESPN and the Walt Disney family for the rest of my career, I would do it. So long as there's a separate part of my life that has a level of independence that's completely not associated with that. Because there's this itch that you get in life when you've spent your life producing for others. And most people that I know, that itch is, what am I capable of without those others? Denzel is a phenomenal actor. He's directed. He's produced. Why? That's not acting. Why he do those other things? Because he had a desire to branch out and to see what he's capable of. Antoine Fuqua has become a dear friend of mine. He's not just a director, he's a producer. You've seen comedians, you've seen actors, you've seen musicians, you've seen journalists, pundits, even with the executives themselves. Well, you at ESPN, why you leave? You at Disney, why you leave? You at Warner Brothers Discovery, what you go for? You're an agent, you're going out and you're starting your own business. Why? You weren't making enough money? Of course you were making money. It wasn't enough. Not that the money, the dollars weren't enough, but there's this itch to feed yourself, to fuel yourself, to inspire you to get up every day and to feel refreshed. It's something different that fuels and inspires you to get up and reach for more. And when you wake up one day and you have achieved a level of success and you see that you've done all that you can do on this level, right, you're wondering what's at this level. What's at this level? What's here? What's there? That's your itch. And it's just something that I have. And in 2018, it was necessary.
As we close out the show, you have a book, Straight Shooter, New York Times bestseller. Comes out, it's out in paperback. Not comes out, it's out in paperback.
Yeah, it is.
Why you wrote it and why are you so proud of it?
Well, first of all, I love how you ask these rhetorical questions like you want to know when you're the instigator for half the stuff. Make me sick. I mean, I didn't want to write the damn book, to be quite honest with you. I really, really didn't do it, And then I said to you, yeah, I want to write the book, but if I'm gonna write a book, there's only one book I can write. It's my memoir. I don't feel I should write anything before I write that. I talked to my mother about it. This was in 2010. Janet Smith, the greatest woman that I've ever known, greatest human being I've ever known, who I love dearly and miss every day. She said to me, you absolutely positively will not write a book while I'm alive. Because she knew how much I loved her. And she knew that if I wrote a book, it would be dedicated to her. That's why it's entitled Straight Shooter. It's a dedication to my mom. And she knew that if I dedicated a book to her, I would have to talk about her greatness. And the only way to talk about her greatness is to talk about and highlight what she overcame, which would involve my father. And my mother did not want me to do that. And so she made me promise that I would never, ever write my memoir until she passed away. And when she passed away in 2017, I didn't think about it for about a year and a half. And then people started bringing it up. And then somebody, I don't know who the hell this person was, rolled up on Rashawn McDonald and was like, you need to get Stephen A. to write a book. And then this dude, Rashawn McDonald, proceeded to bug the living hell out of me every damn day for about a year until I finally said, okay. When I started writing it, it took me about 4.5 months. I wrote every word myself. Had an editor, not a ghostwriter. Had you help me edit as well. But when I wrote the book, the first thing it took me 4.5 months, but it took me about 2.5 to 3 months to get through 2 chapters. And you know what those 2 chapters were. It was revisiting my childhood, my situation with my father, the things he put my mother and my family through. And when that happened, that made it very, very difficult because the first 2 weeks, I didn't even finish the book. I just sent the excerpts to my sisters, and they didn't speak to me for 2 weeks, all 4 of them. I thought they were mad at me, but they weren't mad. They were just going through it themselves because the things that I had mentioned were what they forgot about. And for a long time, I had forgotten about. And so to bring those things up to the surface forced us to relive the hell that we had gone through when we were younger. And it was really, really painful, to say the least, but necessary and cathartic in its own ways. And then ultimately, I finished the book, and lo and behold, it's a New York Times bestseller for 9 weeks, both paperback, and hardcover, and audio. And I can't tell you, I still get stopped on the streets. The book's been out for almost a year, and I get stopped on the streets all the time. People loved my book. I got to give major, major thanks to Howard Stern, because the interview he did with me about my book, there has not been a city that I have traveled to since that interview that somebody hasn't brought up that interview with Howard Stern. Many, many people.
Stephen A. He's my friend, somebody I trust, somebody who's been there in my downtimes. Thank you for coming on Money Making Conversation Masterclass show. You're brilliant, brother. I wish you much good luck.
I appreciate the kind words, but you could have stretched it a little bit longer. I mean, it was really quick with the kind words. You know what I'm saying? You spent about 20 seconds on the kind words and stuff like that. When I praise Rashawn McDonald, I'm lengthy with it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I put it out there. I let it marinate and stay out there for a while.
I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do my Brian Gumble moment.
You in and out in 20 seconds. All right.
Love you, brother. Stay strong, man. Hey, man, like I said, Stephen A., you're one of a kind, brother. You are a guy that I'm gonna just tell you. He said it. I've never in my life met a superstar like you, brother. Not so much your work, but your heart, man. Your heart is incredibly passionate, loyal, and honest. Because you've had some honest conversations with me, and I appreciate you, and I needed them.
And that's good time. Now see, that's good. That's much better. That's better. All right, bro.
Love
Take
it.
it easy,
See you
man.
later, Stephen A.
All right,
Smith.
buddy.
Bye bye.
Take